So for starters today, I took one of the old switches, pulled off the switch machine, and I made sure it worked, put it back together. So this is the switch machine I'll be using, or actually replacing, the 027 switch down below later on in the video here. At this point I was just identifying which way I needed to mount the switch machine on this 022 Lionel gauge switch. And just like that, with a little WD-40, moves a lot smoother. I'll clean it off with my Scotch-Brite pad. And it's ready to go. But before I actually connect it to the track, I have it sitting on this piece of plywood here. I'm going to use some of my old terminals here and actually hook it up to power and make sure it works properly. Nice and smooth. A little bit laggy there. Let's crank up the power on the transformer after adding some WD-40 and see what happens here.
Probably a little overkill.
Much better.
Hello, Frank Rusman here for the second in my series of what I'm doing with the layout today. What I'm going to do today is work with my son in getting some more of the cork laid for the final top run here, and then also I have a spot down below where I'm going to continue replacing the 027 switches with the actual O-gauge switches. What I've done is I've just completed testing this unit, making sure that it was oiled up properly. I probably got a little bit too crazy with the WD-40 there, but never safe than sorry. I'll go ahead and clean that out as much as possible so I don't dirty up the wheels of the engines as they go across it. But so I've got that taken care of, and this working exactly the way it should be. So what I'll do is now go ahead and remove the old switch down below and go ahead and get this guy in place and see how well it works. This should free up some of the problems I'm also having with even some of my old Texas Special engines here that you could normally run on carpet. We're having issues with the 027 switches, the old style ones. I really do like those old style 027 switches, so I'm going to try to continue to use those later on, but as for now I'm going to pull them off the main line so that I can have a smooth operations without any hesitations or dealing with any problems like that. So let's get started. As I get started here to put in get the cork laid out the way it should be, one thing I've learned is as I pull these sections out that I work so hard to get exactly where they need to go, is to make things easier for putting it back together. I'm going to go ahead and pull out these sections, and what I do is I'll put this is the first section I pull out. I'll put a number 1 on here, just on the bottom of the track, and set this aside. Then I'll pull out the next big long section that I can get out without twisting the rails too much. Let's see here. And I'll go ahead and mark that number 2. And set that aside. So now when I go to put this back together, I'll know that I'll just work my way around, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. I'll be able to get this, I won't stand there scratching my head as long trying to figure out how I actually got this all together. It's not as big of a deal for this lower area, but once I get into the upper area here where I have the switches in place and the different radiuses of the corners and stuff like that with the custom short pieces of track that I cut, I want to make sure that it goes right back together the way it was working when I first tested it. So let's go ahead and I'll go through here, mark this track, and then I'll get my crew in here to start laying the roadbed so we can get this all taken care of hopefully today. So what I'm going to do here is with this little rig I created out of some old parts and some wood, is I've dropped a couple Sharpies in there. I'm going to go ahead and mark the table exactly where the cork needs to go, at least give my son an idea of where it needs to be. And one of the benefits of this device I've created is I can pull one of the pins out when I get up to the switch here and continue on. So we have a really good idea of where everything needs to be laid out. I use the same tool also for cutting out my plywood, so I've got a really good idea of where that needs to go. So let's go ahead and I'll mark this straight away here where it's leading off the switch too. So what I'll do here is I should have marked this other side too before I pulled the track up. I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. My pen's back in here. I got my track back in place. I forgot that I'd left a little extra plywood on this upper run here for doing scenery and stuff. So mark that so that we have a really good idea of where the cork needs to be.
Okay. Now that we have everything ready to go, we're laying the cork. One of the things we use is the 3M 77 spray. We spray that stuff on there real thick like, and then just lay the cork down. Making sure that you wear gloves. This stuff is really nasty glue, but it's great for getting the job done fast.
Showing some of the foibles.
Oh my gosh.
I include myself in that.
This is
Most of
cool.
the things I've done. I had a few favorites. Like this one with the wiring, the stupid wiring. That's always been my downfall. The wiring was like a rat's nest
How do you spell that, Luke?
What?
Getting that roadbed laid down there?
How do you spell roadbed?
I didn't ask that.
What did you say?
Woo. Perfect.
The left-hand side is what happens if you don't clean your track after working with spray glue. I've got the right side clean, get the left-hand side looking good, and we're ready to go.
Well, we made some good headway today. Got the cork all the way around up on the top there. Cleaned the tracks. Also learned a good lesson about when using spray glue, make sure that even though you've covered up your track, make sure that you've gone through and checked that track before running your trains on it again. So I found out that it was almost as bad as putting rubber tires on the Union Pacific diesels here. Took me a good 20 to 30 minutes just to clean that nasty glue off of those wheels again. So with that, it's until the next one. This is Frank Cruson.